You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay? Let's ride!
Yes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Tuesday night. I'm so happy to have you here on the 20th. But you know, as we were talking about last night, we were talking about the failed French Revolutionary calendar. And yesterday was the third. If the French Revolution had worked out the way that all the freaks wanted it to have been, it was, I think, what was it? It would be the year 234 or 43, whatever the hell it was. But yesterday was the last day of snowy. That was the name of the month. It was the 30th day of snowy. Today is the first day of rainy, I believe, according to the French Revolutionary calendar. A failed experiment, thank God. And that's what we have. And before I introduce tonight's guests, I want to let you all know, first of all, members and monthly sponsors, aside from the weekend posts that we put up and all that stuff, yesterday you got some great pictures from my coffee date with Aurora. Also, the building of our new snowman friend, Horton. She named him Horton. And so there's that. So go check out all the members only sections that you're on there. As for the Super Chat raffle, I said we were going to give it all away tonight, but I'm extending it to Thursday because not only do we have the medium-sized Jesus Stunads, all of you, not only do we have the medium-sized this, because I have the large, you'll have the medium as well, but I have something to sweeten the deal, and this will definitely be nice for some of the ladies out there are definitely going to love this, but take a look at that. That is a very fuzzy basket that we're putting together. It's got some shower scent steamer in there, a peach mango organic green tea, Jane Barlow's health natural healing salve. I think you like that. There's a diffuser in there. There is Keto Brainz knuckle mug, the brass knuckle mug. There's the Keto Brainz scooper and samples. And you know what? By Thursday night, I'm probably going to put more shit in there too. I don't know. I'll go crazy. I don't care. So again, super chats on quite frankly superchat.com, the YouTube, the Rumble rants, the Pilled. I'm just going to be reading them all off throughout the night because it's going to be very interactive, very audience based. And then I'm going to pile that up and we're going to give that away. I'm going to draw a name on Thursday night. So with that being said, let's go around the room. To the left of me, it's Anthony. What's going on, Ant?
Hey, what's happening?
It's good to have you back. This is you're flying off to California tomorrow.
That's it.
So you're spending a little time with us, and I'm so happy about that. Are you excited?
Yeah, it's I'm once I'm packed and I like ahead of schedule. I finish everything that I set aside for me to finish work-wise before I go travel. Then I'm like good. I'll be happiest when I'm actually on the plane and past TSA. You know, that's the whole thing about traveling is the lead up and having like, you know what I mean? Like having to go through all that.
And the prostate exam.
Right.
You want to get past the prostate exam?
Once I get past the prostate exam and...
It'll be great.
Right.
I can't wait to go back out there with you guys. Across the hall over there is Alberto Marchetti. What's going on, Alberto?
Hello, everyone.
It's good to have you back. People loved your first appearance, and I'm glad you're back so soon.
Thank you, Frank. I'm glad to be here.
Yes, well, and next to you, another guy that people were very happy to meet. Well, they keep meeting him every few years. We have to just keep doing this. Is Vinny Brusco. Vinny, how are you?
Thanks for having me. Doing well, thank you. It's good. We're getting better with this, though.
We are.
we've got a better cadence. So
This is the second time in what, two months?
Yes.
So this is wonderful. You know, Vinny, I couldn't wait to introduce you to Alberto, but you guys actually met outside because you were fighting for the same parking spot.
Yeah, pretty much.
as I was parking and he was looking to see, I think he was trying to recognize me. And I was like, dude, I literally said to myself, dude, I'm not going to hit your car. Like, there's so many cameras on cars now. It's like I was parallel parking and he was behind me. And then I was like, oh, I think that's...
Yeah, Vinny has such a unmistakable beard. I was like, oh, yo, that's Vinny. There must be Vinny for sure. And he was looking at me, he's like, why is this guy mean mugging me?
No, I know. And both of you, like I said, if there was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu explosion in the street, that would have been, we would have heard all about it. Hopefully some cameras would have caught that.
Yeah, he would have destroyed me.
I don't think so.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 years versus 8, I think.
More like 23, but yeah.
All right.
Okay, when it comes to that, what 23? When do you? I don't know. When, if you have 23 years in, is it really just a matter of how much you're doing? I have to imagine someone who's a really vivacious 8 years in might actually give you a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I know Vinny's a good purple belt, so it's going to be a hell of a fight. Doesn't matter, at this point.
Okay.
But this is an interesting conversation. I don't know if you want to go start with this.
Well, it's up to Frank, but...
No, go ahead.
But it's interesting how like everybody thinks that, like jiu-jitsu is technique, jiu-jitsu is strength, jiu-jitsu is athleticism. And I think the older I get, the more I understand that the most important thing in jiu-jitsu is something called craft. There's something that's almost like intangible, but that you develop from constantly training year after year, because there's some guys that are more athletic than I am, younger than I am, and they know all the techniques. But then when it's kind of like playing chess, I can kind of like outplay them. There's something like a craft, and that's really, I think, the secret to jiu-jitsu. And you achieve it by training every day. And when I train, even like Igor, that's your teacher, was used to be one of my teachers. Like, he beats me mercilessly. And it's the craft, man. He's so crafty in what he does. And it's like, it's interesting.
Yeah, the radar, like the sixth sense to it becomes almost tangible at a point. And you're right.
It's like all other things in life. It's the intangibles that are really the X factor there. You know, I was actually reading. I don't know if you, Anthony. I know that you've gone through meditations quite a bit, but and Marcus Aurelius is a very big. I've read Stoicism. I was just sifting through meditations a couple times today because I needed something. I needed something to just reading Marcus Aurelius is a really great way of jumpstarting the intangibles. Yeah, to say. You're being a bitch, right? And he in the most eloquent, ancient way possible. You'd say, "Stop being a bitch," and maybe we can do some Marcus Aurelius in the second half or something like that. That'd be great. So, everybody have a good Christmas and nice, happy New Year?
Everyone was sick.
Everything
got pushed back by one person or the other.
I know,
but overall, we got it all done.
I was sick too, actually.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I was sick on Christmas. I fought very, very hard. It never actually took me out. I swallowed every substance that was in my medicine cabinet for about 3 or 4 days, and I treaded water, but it wanted to consume me. Yeah. And Aurora had her thing she was working through. Anthony had a sore throat at one point.
Yeah, I had a sore throat and a cough for a week. It was a cough thing, and it destroyed my voice for a month, as I knew it would, because that's just what happens. Whenever I get any kind of respiratory thing, that's why I try to avoid it as a singer. Anytime I cough in repetition, destroys my voice.
But I think this particular flu strain. It attacked a lot like lungs and respiratory. Yeah, I had the same symptoms that you described. And it took me pretty much like 3 to 4 weeks to like really get rid of all the little cough, that was lingering.
Right. Interestingly, though, I didn't get a temperature.
No temperature. I had
no temperature. There was no temperature. I felt like I had it.
Me too.
I felt like I was like, yes. I said, I'm convinced I'm going to take my temperature right now and it's going to be at least 99 degrees. At least. And it was 97 point something.
Cool as a cucumber.
So I didn't get sick. My daughter got sick. She was the first one. And she came in our room. It was like 2:30 in the morning. My wife was away. And she's like, the room is spinning. I'm like, whoa, what is going on? She must have like a fever dream. I felt her back. She was on fire. But weird thing about it was, so she kept on hearing yelling, right? She was like, I hear yelling, like they're yelling at Vincent, my son. She's like, they're yelling. I'm like, who's yelling? At one point, she sat up. This freaked me out. She sat up. Her eyes were open, and she starts going like, they're yelling at him. I'm like, who's yelling at him? And then she looks at her Barbie dream house, and she's like, ha, 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 I found it. There it is. She gets out of bed, fixes something, and then goes back into bed, and she's just sitting up with her eyes wide open. I'm like, Emma, we're going to start praying right now. Because I was like, what is going on right now? Freaked me out. Then my son woke up. So that was Monday. Tuesday, he came home sick, and he's like, he starts to get in the fever dream, and he's like, my hands aren't working. He's like, my hands are weird,
God,
right?
please.
So I'm at jujitsu,
I hate kid language, by the way.
Oh, it's freaking me out. So I'm at jujitsu, and I'm talking to one of the guys I train with. And I'm like, dude, the weirdest thing. My daughter was hearing yelling, and my son said his hands weren't working, and they were weird. One of his 3 kids, one got sick, and he had both of those symptoms. He heard the yelling, and he said his hands were acting weird. How weird is that?
Yeah, it's
Heard
very
the
strange.
yelling.
Heard yelling. Like she was like, they're yelling at Vincent. I was like, who's yelling? She's like, the people are yelling. I hear yelling. How weird is that it was like 1 and 1 in my house, but his one kid who got sick had both of those. Very weird.
That sounds more like a spiritual oppression.
Well, that's why we prayed, Frank.
You put that scapular around their necks quick.
That's why we prayed.
You know what I heard something was, what the hell was it? It was a meme about putting holy water inside of a humidifier inside a room. That when you put a holy water inside of a humidifier, it becomes a gas chamber for demons, and you're just smoking them out.
At this stage of the game, Frank, I'll try it.
My gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was weird. It was so weird.
If I ever hear a television commercial like, influenza A this year is, very strange symptoms. Some people will hear screaming.
Yeah.
And some hands won't work.
They're weird.
That's strange, man.
It was weird. It was so freaky.
Have you heard though? And I don't know if this is just like some kind of, I don't know if this is one of those things where it just happens and we don't see it on the news all the time. But now for some reason this season, I've seen a couple of times, and partially because I'm getting recommended fucked up videos on TikTok, like I told you, in the past, about how like I'll just get recommended TikTok of people dying and stuff, or people being told that a relative is dead. But I got recommended this whole thing of this young people who are dying from the flu, and it's also like paired with a rise in cases of the flu being like this super flu. And they're saying everyone, should get their flu shot.
Oh, of course.
It's like basically the same copy that we heard for getting the shot for COVID. It's like the same talking point. But what was weird about that to me is that, I don't know, man, years ago, like for as long as the flu shot's been around, I have never had the flu shot. And that was just like never a problem. It was never a problem. People would be like, well, yeah, you don't have to get the flu shot. Some people do because for whatever, but now it's like it's become, I'm seeing, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I'm seeing like a rise, like more of awareness about the flu, which I think is so ridiculous because what is it? Like the flu is mutated now? Like, I don't know.
Well, you should see, where the hell, I hope I have it. Maybe I don't, but Jay Gulanello sent me a health minute about the flu shot. You want to hear? Here, take a look at this. Just something to think about. Now, I trust Jay with my life.
Well, with that hair, how could you not?
I know. He's maintained just anybody who has better hair than me, I automatically want to hear what you have to say about things. Okay, and that's most people. So take a listen to this, and you draw what you want from it.
Welcome to Perpetual Health Minute, brought to you by Quite Frankly. Today we're going to talk flu shot because, well, flu season is always right around the corner, right? So on your screen, you're looking at total mortality for flu from the year 1900 to 2020, and what do you see? Well, the red line represents total mortality, and you can see there is a precipitous drop right around 1940, and then it levels off right through 2020. Now, the blue dotted line is the introduction of the flu vaccine. Interesting, right? People will tell you that the flu vaccines reduce all-cause mortality, but the truth is that curve had been flattened a long time ago. So this fall, when people are pushing the flu shot on you, you should really stop and think, why the push for a vaccine that doesn't actually reduce mortality? Now, I write about this every single year at perpetualhealth.substack.com, so you can check it out there with all the latest information. You can also follow us on the new Rumble channel. But for now,
perpetualhealth.co. So then that's something to consider. And I know every year there's always a new strain and something. Hey, forget about it.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Just to your point before, just for what it's worth.
Yeah.
That I heard that bald people are more trustworthy than people with hair.
Really? Then why the hell? Why are we always the bad guys and feel like we're like geniuses, but we're evil geniuses?
When I noticed that I was losing my hair, I did something about it to keep the hair that I have in my head. So I can't take credit for the hair that I have in my head. I know some people like to compliment me about my hair, but it's not all me. It's not all my genetics.
Are you a bald guy at heart?
At heart, I mean, if I didn't go and take the precautions necessary to keep the hairs that I have in my head, I'd probably be, noticeably thinning and have to shave my head to look somewhat normal. So I can't say that I'm part of the strong hair community like Jay is.
Yeah, he's got some strong hair.
Oh, Vinny Alberto over there. Look at them. They're like, ooh.
Oh, you're a part of the strong hair community.
Yeah,
strong hair, strong legs.
As I get older, it's starting to fade, but we'll take it.
Oh, whatever. It's all good.
That's normal. I mean, of course, like as you get older, if you start going gray and your hairline or recedes or you're thinning, like in your 40s and 50s, that's like, if you're not, I'd be a little it starts looking unnatural, you know what I mean?
I think I never took the flu vaccine. That's why I still have all my hair.
That's it.
It's got to be it.
You had all the. Where did you grow up in Italy?
I grew up outside Florence, Pisa, exactly, where the Leaning Tower is. Yes.
Wow. You're the first and only person I know from Pisa.
Yeah, it's a small town, 250,000 people. And I think most of my friends never really, they travel for vacation, but they didn't want to leave the nest. So yeah, the chances that you meet somebody from Pisa are very slim.
It is.
But compared to other places, my business partner Luigi is from Messina, equally small town from Sicily. But because they grew up on the island of Sicily and there's not a lot of opportunities, a lot of them travel. So they go move to Rome, move to Milan, but also move to London and New York. I met a lot more people from Messina than here in New York than I've met people from Italy, from Pisa. Yeah.
Vinny, you know where your family is from?
The Bronx.
The Bronx.
The Bronx, Italy. Yeah.
Calabria.
Vinny actually has a cool last name. Do you know what it means in Italian?
I did.
Brusco, right?
Yeah.
Brusco means somebody that's a little bit rough.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Rough and tough.
It's a bruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But it's a cool name. It's cool that a lot of Italian names, if they're old names from like medieval times, they actually relate to the profession one had or some kind of like physical attribute. So Brusco is pretty good. It's like a tough man kind of name.
Is that the correct pronunciation of your last name?
It is. I always say Brusco. It's
here's the
Americanized.
Now,
but
funny
it's
about
Brusco.
that. When we were creating intros for your show years ago, I said that was how I pronounced it like you did.
Brusco,
I didn't say Brusco like that. But I
Brusco.
I said the Vinny Brusco show.
We did that.
And you're like, wait, that's not how it's pronounced.
I say Brusco. It's very Americanized, but yeah, some people in my family say Brusco. They say, it is Brusco.
Our last name is Americanized too. It's completely changed.
Yeah,
they just actually it wasn't an Ellis Island thing. It was actually a New York school system thing. Mm-hmm. Half of most of our family is Barbero, and we are Val. They put the L in there, took out the R. I instead of E. So it's where honestly, unless Anthony and I, if one of us has a boy, that's the last of our last name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because
we're gonna need to.
We're gonna need to have some boys.
Get to work.
It
is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about to have another kid, and it's a girl again. So I don't know. My name too is about to end. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I have to. But okay, we got still a few good years. So we'll see if we can make.
So you don't have any.
Happen.
You don't have any siblings, nothing like that.
No. Well, I have a sister. But she married, so the kids have a different last name. But,
right.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Who cares at this point? As long as we're making life.
That's right.
Yeah. I guess girls, it's gonna have to be that way.
Amen.
It's fine.
agree.
Real quick, because I know you guys care about this stuff. And last time Alberto was on, we were talking about John Perkins and economic hitmen and all that stuff. We are like knocking on the door of $95 silver ounce right now. It's not. Last I checked, it's like $94.89, and that's pretty crazy. That we're very close to $100 an ounce of silver.
Yeah, it's still going up.
Oh yeah. Well, some people are getting really bullish about it. They're like, by Christmas it'll be like $300-$400. So we'll see. Anyway, you know what? Speaking of Italy and traveling and all that stuff, your wife is Russian.
Yes, she is.
Does she have anybody that's in the area that got 7 feet of snow the last couple of days?
Some, yes. But some of the videos I saw online, I saw some videos are AI. I don't know if you
think
guys.
so?
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of them. I don't know. So
I
I'm like-
saw.
This
let's
is from the
see.
New York Post.
I think this is real. Yeah, no, this is one of the real ones. But there's some where the snow is up to like the 7th floor and people are skiing down and not. And then if you go in the comments, some people say that that's AI. But that's not too uncommon from where she's from. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know, 7th floor. That sounds ridiculous. And
But
yeah,
it's
I'm
like
sure.
the drift, right? It's like it's all the.
I bet you this, honestly, this is a little bit, it's probably on a hill. So like he's standing, you see where the trees are. So yeah, it's probably kind of like on a hill. Yeah. And so it
What do
looks
you even do
even
with
more
that?
dramatic.
That's definitely drifts right there. Look, this is
It's Hoth.
it's a stop sign.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
Yeah, you're waiting for the AT-ATs to come in.
It's Hoth.
Yeah, so we were there over New Year's, but we came back last week right before the snowstorm came in. So every day I was there, it was snowing, but it wasn't as heavy. Every morning we woke up, there's like maybe a foot of snow, but not as much. That's kind of, they think it's kind of like the snowfall of the century for that location.
Hell yeah! I mean, that was a 3.5 foot slab of
At least,
shit.
yeah.
Now kids are loving it though, but they're Russian, so they're tougher than all of us.
Oh yeah, man! Like every day, I will wake
Look at
up
that.
and go get coffee, and all the kids will be, no school during the break. They'll just be outside in the playground, even though there was snow and there was ice.
Like that's not AI.
No, that's it. That has to. Well, it's mostly a drift right there, but people
Right,
are
but I'm saying with the drift, you're probably hitting,
12 feet maybe in some places.
yeah, I mean, it's probably.
Hold
That's
on,
nuts.
it says here, Reuters, vast snow drifts in Russia's far east. And let's see, it says snow drifts several meters high, blocking buildings' entrances and buried cars after more than 2 meters, that's 6.5 feet, of snow fell in some areas the first half of January, following 3.5 meters in December. Oh, so they already had 4 feet on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's just crazy. It's like sand dunes that one resident and blogger Polina Tucheva said of a mammoth snow in a city I'm not going to be able to pronounce. But that's crazy. We're about to get a little something next
Yeah, that's
next
what I
weekend
said, right?
too. Yeah.
I remember the 96 blizzard very
Next
well.
weekend?
Obviously.
This weekend.
Well, that's the other thing too. I hear about next weekend.
96.
Yeah.
Alberto, were you in the U.S. in 96?
I moved full time in 1999, and I don't remember being here visiting during the winter of '96. So no, was it a bad year? A lot of snow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as it was record snowfall, it was one of the best years of our lives.
I mean, I was in 6th grade. Right?
Dude,
96,
yeah, same.
6th grade. Yeah. So, I mean, it was like waist high at that time.
Oh,
and I
that's
remember
amazing.
like walking, it's like,
I was
you
in
had a-
5th.
Yeah.
Anthony's in 3rd. You're in 6th. No, aren't we the same age?
I'll be 42 in a few weeks.
Okay, so then I was in 5th. You're 1 year older. But did you had like a week of
Yeah.
a week off?
It was
Well, this is what I
wonderful.
remember.
It's the best.
What I remember was that I think the snow started on a Thursday night. Wasn't it into like a weekend? And I could be wrong about this, but the school was already called that night. As soon as it started, we already knew that we had the next day off. And then I think we had off I think we had off 4 days at least.
Like an additional,
Because it might
the
have been
back end of the weekend?
Yeah, it might have been like the weekend and then
additional
Monday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
When I lived in
Because there was a lot of snow, man.
When I lived in New York City in the early 2000s, there were some freak snowfalls. And I remember it was very interesting for me coming, now like being new to New York City and seeing the whole city shut down when it snows.
Yeah.
And I will walk around and you'll see like people with with skis on Fifth Avenue, just going kind of like just taking their time, having fun. I was like, yeah, it looks surreal. Look like one of those apocalypse movies, like 12 Monkeys, when the city is all deserted and people just like, doing strange activities. It was fun.
Well, I'm looking at this right here, and the dates and timeline. Let's see here. It said that the blizzard of '96 primarily struck the U.S. East Coast from January 6th to the 8th of '96.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at January 6th, 1996, and that was a Saturday. So Saturday, Sunday, and then January 8th, there's a Monday. We had, obviously there's that Monday off, but I feel like...
No, it definitely happened on that. It was a Thursday night. We definitely had off the next day as it started.
And then we got an extra day at the end just because the icing over. It wasn't even falling anymore, but everything was just so icy. The roads were terrible. So that was it.
We went.
It's great.
We went sledding at night.
Yeah.
That night.
Do you remember just getting that phone call, because it was telephone, it'd be a parent telephone line where they'd call the first parent, and then the first parent called parent number 2, and so forth and so on. And I just remember getting that phone call, at any time when school was shut down, and it was just like you'd be waiting to see have your mom or whoever turn around and be like, "There's no school." You'd be waiting with bated breath.
News 12 though. You remember the scroller at the bottom?
There was 3 things you could do. We had the News 12 ticker at the bottom that you would just wait for all that. The second thing that Anthony and any kid can do was call the school office in the morning, and if it was the normal answering machine, you knew you were screwed.
Yeah.
And if you got something different, it was great. Or call back in a little bit for the update on the snow. Like you had some hope. But then we also listened to 1010 Wins, I think, and 1010 Wins would just go through every school district.
I remember that.
And whether it be cancellation or the worst thing, honestly, it was worse.
I know where you're going with this.
It was worse than just going to school. Was a delay.
A delay.
2 hour delay.
2 hour delay.
F off with your delay.
Not going to school at 10 o'clock.
Right. What's that? A delay. We're going to start at lunch. Just let me go home.
It's the worst.
Call it a day. It's over. A delay. Oh, what a horrible, horrible word.
Alberto, this is just we're getting triggered over here.
No, I feel you.
You get a lot of snowfall in Pisa?
No, not at all. Maybe a day or two every winter. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing bad. It's fairly warm, actually. It's a nice climate. But we have mountains nearby within an hour, like the small Alps, Apennines, and they get snow there. We go ski. So, yeah, it's fun. Even in the winter, we have a good time. A lot of snow sports.
I really got to go out there.
Have you ever been?
Never.
Yeah, me neither.
Never been overseas.
Let's organize the trip. Let's do it. Quite frankly, Italian trip. Let's go.
No,
Let's
seriously.
all go together. Let's invite all your fans and followers. Let's go.
Alberto, listen, I'll tell you something. This is very possible because I know somebody, my buddy Michael Collins now, Wandering Wolf. He's actually in this business. I know that there are companies out there that do this, but he's in this business now of he organizes trips to the pyramids in Egypt for other content creators now and all that other shit, and some really big names. He's out there with them. They go exploring ruins in Central and South America and stuff. So to be able to put together a quite frankly,
I can help you, man. I worked as a tour guide for like 3 or 4 summers when I was like a teenager, 17, 18, 19 years old. And I know quite some interesting spots. I can take you to see the real Sword in the Rock. Did you guys know that it's in Italy?
The Sword and Stone?
Yeah, the one from the legend of
Arthur.
Oh, King Arthur, yeah. It's very strange, but it's somewhere on a hill in Tuscany.
King Arthur was a paisan?
I swear to God. Nah, King Arthur, no, but one of his knights, Gawain, was. So it's very strange, but you want to hear the story? I'll go a little deep dive.
I'm literally sitting like,
all right, cool.
More than anything in the world, Ron.
Yeah, pull it up, Frank. Pull it up on the screen. Put Sword in the Stone, Tuscany, and it will come up.
Okay, Tuscany.
You see what it looks like. So there was this guy around the year 1200, the year 1100. His name was Galgano Guidotti. Galgano, that later was translated into the English word Galwain. Yeah, that's the sword.
Wow.
And he was a prince and a nobleman from Tuscany, and he went to fight the Crusades. On the way back to Italy, after that he fought the crusade, he had a vision of Christ, and he decided that he wanted to redeem his life. So as a sign of devotion to Christ, he said that this sword will not hurt any human anymore, and he planted in the stone, and that was the miracle. The sword went through the stone like if it was butter. And after that, it got stuck. He became a hermit. He built a little shack near where he planted the sword, and he started performing miracles. People start going to seek his advice, and he will cure them from illnesses and this kind of stuff. So this hill was really next to like the Franciscan way, which was like one of the ways that the pilgrims took from Paris to get all the way down to Rome. So a lot of the pilgrims met him or met some of his followers after that he passed away. So they brought back to Paris, and then from Paris to England, the legend of the sword in the rock and of this knight called Galgano that was translated into Gawain. So when Sir Thomas Malory wrote the Knights of the Round Table, he gathered all the legends that were like before then passed orally.
Mm-hmm.
He included Gawain. Gawain was the most devoted knight, the one that went on the quest for the Graal. So there's a connection to paisans. Yes.
Wow.
I can take you there. We can do it. Let's go. That
Dude,
will be one of the stops.
that
of
alone
the
is worth the
Quite
trip.
frankly,
We're gonna
Italian
Yeah.
trip. Let's
Now,
go.
how come you didn't put the Goonies music behind him when he was saying
I don't
that?
know. That would have been perfect.
Can you do it in post?
Hold on. Yeah, I could. Hold on. Yeah. Goonies.
Good call.
Goonies soundtrack, the score. Well, what would it be? Yeah. It would be like the map room.
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah.
could. I would like also Indiana Jones music. That seems
Oh,
like
that's
a
another-
quest
yeah.
from an Indiana Jones movie too.
Hold on.
No.
No.
That sounds like
Let's go.
You gotta
No.
find. It's got to be there. It has to be available.
Map and Willie. This has to be it.
Definitely.
Wait.
Wait.
Here it is. Yep.
Oh. I don't think so.
No, this is it. Perfect.
And there's this hill in Tuscany
No.
with a sword from the 12th century that Sir Gawain Galgano.
See, he knows he's doing. See? Oh, this is what the
Yes and no. Yes and no. It doesn't hit the spot yet.
I don't know.
okay?
I like that first song, that first theme that you put from the Goonies, the one of the the car chase from the beginning.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So that's the kiss scene. That's like the waterfall. That's like the wishing well scene right there.
Yeah.
But it's actually more synth wavy.
Skull and signature. Let me see.
Do they have something that says attic?
No, attic. Well, that's when they're in the with the map.
Yeah.
Fratelli, Chase, no. The Goondocks, no. Doubloon. They find the doubloon up in the attic. This is it.
That's it.
This is good. It's magical.
Yeah.
Yo,
Good call.
did John Williams do this too? Or?
Is it?
No, this is Dave Grusson. Dave Grusson.
I
It
should have
says-
known better. This is not John Williams sound.
I should have known better.
How dare I?
How dare I even ask the question?
Is it possible that maybe John Williams wrote maybe another theme in the movie?
I
Since
don't.
they collaborated a lot
No, but
with Spielberg.
well, I just kind of assumed because he's done so much Spielberg and Lucas that
It makes sense.
Yeah, no. This it's not. It says music composed and conducted by Dave.
but he
Grusson.
wasn't one to use any kind of synthesizers. That's like that would be the first sign. Any modern production he never used.
I'm trying to. No, it's not. This definitely doesn't have Goonies in here. I'm looking at everything he's done, and there's no Goonies. Well,
List off a few.
yeah, listen, you got to leave.
It's like
Got to leave something for somebody else to
But
do.
How cool were
Unbelievable.
How cool were all those theme songs from the 80s?
The
Like,
best.
Yeah.
It's
right?
like, you know,
Indiana Jones, the Terminator,
so memorable.
Die Hard,
Terminator.
yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this. I mean, the intro to to Terminator 2, the whole like opening credits is like beautiful. Like that alone is cinematic like history. Like the nuclear war, the whole nuclear war, like the fire and stuff with that theme. It's crazy. Fucking amazing.
I'd have to. I put this out there, and I don't think it's too controversial or original. But my vote for the greatest action film of all time is Terminator 2. What would you guys put out there?
greatest action of all time.
Greatest action film of all time.
I will say The Matrix.
Matrix? Okay.
I think Terminator 2 is definitely number 2 or number 3, but I think The Matrix, wow. When I first saw it in the movie theaters, and I know it's not an 80s movie, so probably, 1999, but wow. That bullet scene, where it's the stop motion kind of movement, wow. And then all the kung fu choreography, I never seen anything like it. That was insane.
That was not. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of rules were broken and new rules and standards made in movies like that. I mean, Terminator 2, the same thing there too. We were talking about before 1990,
Right.
1991. I remember seeing all like the Entertainment Tonight breaking news about just the technology for making the T-1000 and how it's liquid metal walking through the doors, walking through jail bars and all that stuff. So I remember all that hype when a movie is about to change the game, much like Jurassic Park 2 years after that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jurassic Park is my favorite movie of all time. So, but it's funny how I think Terminator actually holds up probably better than The Matrix. Like if you watch Terminator now, it looks better than like if you watch Agent Smith in The Matrix now, you're like, this looks like shit, right? But if you watch Terminator, you're like, oh, this is still like it just looked like even Jurassic Park. Like that movie holds up so much better than so many movies these days, or from the that 2000 era.
Yeah,
because it just looks just so much better.
Because it was a perfect blend of the old school
Right.
Hollywood cinema
Yeah,
with this new technology that they had no choice but to make work, or else they'd look like a fucking failure. You know, what I mean,
collapse,
because
yeah.
there was so much ambition.
Yeah.
So that blend with the animatronics and the CGI, this new technology, plus they were connected to this classic craft that slowly diminished from that point on.
Yeah.
Once people got really trigger happy with CGI.
But that
and
was it.
God
It was everywhere.
Right.
It just became everything.
Right.
Yeah, because
Right.
you look at a few years later, or maybe a couple of years later when they released Twister. That was a perfect example.
Right.
Like they didn't have to do some of the things they did in Twister. Like the flying cow. We got cows.
I know.
Come on.
It looks like a cartoon. It's a cartoon cow
so
now.
stupid.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's a good point.
There's just extra things. But let me, before wherever the conversation goes from here, before we get off of movies and their scores and stuff, Anthony and I had a conversation a couple months ago on, I think, the first episode of the Playhouse, and I had thrown out there, because at that time, whatever the hell the Super Bowl performer is going to be was announced at that time, and I said, what about this? What would you think about John Williams at Super Bowl? Think about I think people would be actually taken aback at how amazing that would be if you just brought all of those themes to life for 15 minutes. These are the movies that everybody grew up on.
That's a great Super Bowl. Like that should just be a tour.
Hell yeah, man.
That should just be a tour.
Let's start a petition. I'll sign it.
I mean, was he 94? We better hurry up.
Yeah.
It would be so epic. I think the second half of the Super Bowl will be so amazing. After listening to all those scores, they'll be inspired.
Dude, he did everything. He even did the Poseidon Adventure. I'm looking at everything he ever did right now.
I just hope that Duel of Fates would be in that medley.
With that, you'd have to put Jaws in there.
Yeah.
You'd have to do Star Wars.
He did Superman too, right?
It would have to be the Throne Room victory theme though. Star Wars, when they're they're putting they're putting all the medals on everybody. Yeah. Then there's obviously Superman. Christopher Reeves. That one just slays.
Unbelievable. Imagine the mind of that, to be that like creative and have that many things underneath your IMDb page.
Yeah.
Well, the crazy thing is that this list I'm looking at right now is chronological. So when I see the run he was on, some people, you look at some actors that have like an incredible 8-year run, like Harrison Ford. If you think about Harrison Ford, what he did from it's just from like 1980, when we're talking about Empire Strikes Back,
At least, yeah.
until like 1988 is insane. Between finishing all the Star Wars up, all the Indiana Jones, Blade Runner. I mean, it's insane. Right up to the John. I forgot what the hell it was.
President movie?
The President movie.
Clear and Present Danger? Is that the one?
I think that's beyond. That's in the 90s.
I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
Anyway,
Drawing a blank.
yeah. Although there's just a lot. This is crazy. This is decades long. So, anyway, things that you just forget too. So, good Lord. Okay. Hey, did you guys hear about this? I want to throw it out at you. They're calling it retail apocalypse. 8,000 U.S. chain stores are shuttering, and they've already been closed up by the end of last year. And they're calling it a retail apocalypse. And I didn't even know that Macy's had this many stores out there still. GameStop.
Wow.
Party City, as we all know, we lost Party City.
Yeah, of course.
But there's just so much here. I can't believe it.
Yeah, they just announced actually yesterday or today that also the Palisades Mall, which is one of the biggest malls that we have here in New York, which is a few miles away from here, it's going to be brought up at auction. They're under $400 million.
The whole mall?
Yeah, the company that manages the mall. Yeah, they took a loan a few years back and they're not able to repay it.
Wow.
They make money part from the, two ways. Usually they make money from brands that rent the spaces,
Right.
but also most contracts within a mall also have a kickback. So if the sales go well during the months like the holiday months, October, November, and December, a percentage of the sale goes back to the mall owners. So if they're still in debt, I think it's because both they're not either not filling up the spaces within the mall, and also the sell volume overall are down.
I remember the Palisades Mall. Some of my favorite memories there were going to get a haircut at Supercut, and then going to Johnny Rockets.
It's a great mall. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of activities. It's fun.
Yeah.
Well, I think more people are looking for like activity centers now, right? Like a lot of those malls are turning into experiences.
That's all the Stanford Mall is.
Yeah. They're turning into experiences more than like actual shopping.
Last January, we went to the Stanford Mall to meet, for Aurora and her cousins to go run around at some jungle gym, which is pretty much like Leaping Lizard's Discovery Zone, one of those places.
Yeah.
That's all what I've seen, because that's like the last mall I've been in. But they try to sell up space, like they're trying to bring back certain types of arcades, laser tag places, shit like that. So it is. I don't know how well it's working, but for example, like Rite Aid closed. I mean, that's just a pharmacy. That's 1,300 locations closed last year. Party City closed 738 locations. Nobody's having parties anymore.
Well, also people are just ordering everything on Amazon.
Yeah, I know that's killing me.
That's the reality.
I'm going to just put it out there, but I think there's other factors involved too. So definitely, Anthony, I think you touched on the main issue, the fact that people are ordering online. But I also think that part of it is that the cost of real estate rentals are going up. And also the cost of hiring workers is going up as the minimum wage is going up. So the combinations of all of those factors just turning up the heat to 100. And these companies can't sustain those kind of costs.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. Meanwhile, in Myrtle Beach, 1,000 more locations of Eagles and Wings beach stores have opened up.
Is that serious?
No, I bet you any money. You ever been down to Myrtle Beach?
Not in a long time.
Dude, you go down to Myrtle Beach, and now we used to do it whenever we went down in the 90s and in the early 2000s. We would just like count how many Eagles, Wings, whatever the hell it was, but it's just every other lot. It's like Mattress Firm up here.
Right.
Every other block, there's another beach store called Eagles or Wings, and they're selling all the same shit at all the same prices. It's just it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Virginia Beach is exactly the same. Yeah.
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 That's why whenever I see a Macy's closed down, I said, well, it's almost like It's a Wonderful Life. Every time a bell rings, another Eagles opens up in Myrtle Beach. And that's that's the theory I'm going to stick to. Man, okay, so we're talking about things closing down. Have you guys read, I brought this up last night, that there is a former analyst for the central bank in England, the Bank of England, who wants there to be a contingency plan put in place for the imminent, what they believe, the imminent announcement of alien life, the confirmation of alien life that is what she fears is going to collapse the financial system just through the financial system, just through people freaking out that they want some kind of contingency plan for disclosure that alien life is real.
How many people do you think don't feel or think that already? Like if you had 10 people, how many people say, I don't believe in aliens?
You know what? I think most people, especially me, who are completely open-minded, and you think about probability, and you just use your gut on things, that there are more. I mean, you just think about how many various ways that life presents itself on Earth alone.
Sure. And
to think that life in some way, whether it's meaningfully intelligent or not, can present itself outside of our atmosphere. I mean, that doesn't. I think most people can logically be like, yeah, I can vibe with that. But I think the excitement level that we used to have 30 years ago about something like that being a possibility is completely bottomed out.
That's what I'm saying. That's where I was going with this, right? Because you would think you ask 10 people, you got to figure 8, maybe 9 out of 10 people like, yeah, I believe in some form of extraterrestrial. So an announcement of, hey, there's there's alien, whatever you want to call them, extraterrestrials, aliens, whatever it is. I think most people are like, yeah, okay. Like, keep it moving. No one's going to be shocked by it anymore.
Yeah, I think the real danger is not in the announcement of them being here, because since 2017, since the article on the New York Times appeared, disclosing that the Pentagon had a UFO program, and now even also with the Age of Disclosure documentary that came out in December, where even Marco Rubio admitted that there are these unknowns flying in our skies. If somebody announces officially, I think the market definitely will tank, but it will be just a small dip, similar to what we saw in COVID.
I don't think it would miss a beat. I think people are like, okay.
What is the logic behind it?
But the real problem is if the announcement is negative, not only that the aliens are here, but they know of something bad that might happen.
They're
in the near
uncooperative.
future.
They don't like us.
They're hostile.
Yes. That's the only, yes.
See, this is why I naturally think I would gravitate toward theories that involve that that government, that agency that is actually going to oversee the disclosure process is actually going to make some sort of a ripple in the marketplace, that in their way,
a power grab.
as a power grab,
right?
Because like Vinny said, if they're hostile, we stand no chance. There would be no Mars attacks kind of a war.
Right. Well, I think that's what people are like, right, exactly. There's not going to be this ack moment where all of a sudden it's like they're just spraying people everywhere. Like, that's not what's happening.
There would be, if there was some kind of a clash of civilizations of that magnitude,
right,
where something, it would be something along the lines of they push one of their buttons and the entire world
in a blink
is neutralized. So this whole idea that they're coming,
right,
we can see them coming and we have time to prepare for anything is ridiculous.
Right.
If they don't like us, there's nothing we can do. So you can take your silver you've been stacking and shove it up your ass.
Right.
and so all I'm thinking is either the government is full of aliens already and they're running this whole operation on us,
Right.
Or it's just disclosure is just going to be an alternative to any other kind of transition that we usually have financially, which is usually war. Like maybe they would really want to try the disclosure idea as a transition or a way to fudge the numbers or cook the books a little bit more,
Right.
and blame it on a freak out over extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
That's what I naturally think. But then again, it is one person. I don't know who this former analyst. Her name is Helen McCaw. She might just be a really crazy busybody woman that the Times.com thought, hey, you know what? I mean, she used to work with the bank. Let's write
Yeah, it's true.
Let's
It's a
write
good
a
point.
story about it. I don't know what kind of insight she has, but she seems to be convinced that the disclosure is going to come from the U.S., which I always thought is another stupid something that doesn't vibe for me as well. Because if it's a planetary issue, it's not a U.S. issue. Why the hell are we spearheading disclosure? Like they only come to the U.S. We manage this information. Somebody in Paraguay wouldn't be able to say yes, no, they're here. You know,
Right.
there's so much about this I don't get, which is why I always default to government chicanery.
Yeah. Who would you think would have to make the announcement?
The aliens.
Yeah.
I mean, it would just to
Yeah.
see something. I mean,
Yeah. That's a good point. They just come down.
and I don't believe in that. They're waiting until we're ready. Shit,
Yeah.
we ain't ready. We're going backwards.
We're not going to be ready.
We're going backwards.
That's for sure.
Also, if you like, so she's announcing this so people take money out of the stock market, and what are you going to buy? Silver? Like, is that going to help you once the aliens land? So, I don't know. It's not like you. Yeah, I don't know. It's
right.
So it's where are you going to put your money? I don't know.
Well, then that's the other thing. What are the governments preparing for? Like we have to. What you want to stabilize the currency while everybody's getting vaporized?
Right.
Yeah, what are you preparing for? Like the aliens are just going to take out the civilians and somehow you're going to survive in your bunker and they're just going to let you rebuild again. Like they're gonna, I don't know. They're going to take all the cobalt out of one mountain and leave. It's ridiculous. But I knew that this would be a good group of guys to talk about this with. Alberto, I
read a lot about this stuff. Yes.
So where does your heart lie as far as what you think is legitimately possible and not just tricks from the government?
So from everything that I read through the years and the people that I talked to, I really believe that there's an alien presence on this earth. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but I really think that just like the universe is vast and some civilizations are more advanced than us, and as we send probes to investigate the universe, I think there's civilizations that are billion years ahead of us that have sent probes here or even some kind of like scouts. But if that's the case, they've been here for millions of years. They've seen us evolve. They've seen the earth change. So if they have not acted negatively against us since till that time, I don't think we have anything to worry about. But, I don't know. Some people out there, if you read, push some kind of like apocalypse scenarios where like they think that civilization every million years resets. Some people say that we're not the first civilization to reach this level of technology. There were others before, but that we were kind of like erased because we're somebody else's experiment. I don't know how much credence we can give to those, but some people within the government have come out and put out that information. I don't know how much is true, how much is disinformation.
Right. Well,
Yeah, when you see like those previous civilizations and you see how like in depth they are, like if you watch like any of those ancient civilization shows and you see like the intricacies of them, right? And then they all mirror each other at different corners of the world. You have to step back and go like this is, you can't even wrap your brain around it. So to your point, it's like maybe, and again, I don't know if you follow that and believe that, but maybe there is something to say that we're not the first go at this, right?
I think so too, yes.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be kind of egoic to think that these things are in place and they're like, I don't know how many feet underground, but they're, definitely Tepe and all these places, ancient places that have underground labyrinths and they're so intricate and they mirror each other.
Yeah.
You have to think like something was existing prior to all of this, and it was obviously communicating in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's possible. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I've often asked the question of, guests that really hone in on these types of these themes. I often ask them, how many great resets do you think we've had?
Right.
How is Genesis of the Bible just an account of the last time that this has been brought back to the studs? Brought us all back to the beginning. I don't know, because there seems everybody has flood myths and
Right.
cataclysm myths and all these histories that you have to imagine. It's very easy, especially at different levels of our development. It would have been very easy to have wiped a lot of us out with very little left behind. But I wish I can find like an artifact or something. That's why I love Indiana Jones so much.
Right.
Yeah, I love the whole idea of like being on the brink of cracking something that will blow your mind. I don't know. I love those types of stories just because of this. Because like the what, we were talking about the other week. I had my friend Matt on, and we were going through. Whenever he comes on, he has a channel called Cultivate Elevate, and whenever he comes on, we do a conspiracy theory roulette. And I'll just take all these conspiracy reels. We'll do like a half a dozen together, and just because he usually has an opinion on most of them. And one of the theories had to do with the 200 angels that fell from heaven, and that they were in some way, shape, or form their fall, literal fall, was related to a lot of these gigantic craters around the earth, that there's only about, 100 and some odd craters around the earth, and that there's a few that are not accounted for. But the theory is that there were a few angels that had fallen into they had buried themselves in the ocean as well. So you always think about things that are alive in the ocean and deep underground and deep underwater bases and stuff, that there are, and I think one of the bigger parts that are really compelling about the theory is that, you know what? Hold on a second. I turned it into a short. Let me get it up here real quick. And hold on. Here it is. Let me take a. Here we go. Let me see if this plays loud enough. All right, here we go.
I saw this guy talking about the fact that there were 200 angels that fell from the sky, and around the earth we have 190 craters that have no rock or rubble that were ever found. And then this other person was like, 10 of them fell into the ocean.
Okay, stop right there. 190 craters around the earth that don't have any kind of fragment or rubble at the center of it that would indicate what the original impact was all about. Some people say, oh yeah, those are the 200 angels that fell from heaven, and 10 just fell into the oceans. What do you think about something like that?
So there's two things here. There's a crater up in northern Arizona, and that's very close to almost where the petrified forest is. And then the thing that you just said with the angels, every single World's Fair, all of the buildings had angels on top of them. That's the number one thing that I have seen removed out of all the books that I've went through, from the 1700s to the 1800s to the 1900s. The number one thing removed is the angels with the trumpets that used to be on top of all of these buildings. So somebody knew something, because I don't know who would craft or make, thousands and thousands and thousands of statues. They also used to say abundance and love on every single building too.
So I thought that was interesting.
That is.
Because I always wondered about that too, those big damn craters. You think that there'd be a nice little rock quarry at the bottom of them.
I went to the one he mentioned in Arizona, Meteor Crater in Arizona. It was interesting.
What were you when you're physically, because you got it around the world, my friend, when you are physically standing before something like that, things that I haven't been near, what do you...
It's a great day trip if you guys want to go. I highly recommend it. But it was weird because I put it on the GPS, and I was expecting to see like some kind of like how do you call it? Some kind of like movement, like a hill or something. But as you approach, you kind of like, it's just desert. Like you're in Arizona, you're driving for so many hours and it's just flat, flat, flat. And then as you get closer, you see a little bit of the this cliff coming up, but it's not very noticeable from the distance. But as you get closer, you see that the cliff is quite high, and you can hike it. But the real development of the crater is just once you get on the ledge of the cliff to see below it, and it's quite wide. I think it's about almost, I would say a mile. Is that? No, maybe a little bit less, but it's quite a wide crater. To my surprise, yeah, he's right. When I went there and I asked, they never found any kind of like meteor remains. In
You know
the
what I
bottom,
think?
If I remember correctly.
You know what I think about? I think about the opening of Terminator. I think about Terminator 1, Terminator 2 when they're zapped in from the future and they're just kind of like sitting there in the superhero pose, but they've kind of like taken a molten chunk out of the asphalt and they're just standing there and they've been that's what I think.
Yeah, so whatever land they walked away, basically.
Could be.
When you were there, did you like? Was there any like feeling to it? Did you have like this like? I mean, other than like potentially just human awe because you're in front of something that's like, wow, this is kind of crazy.
No, I felt it was very majestic, but it felt very natural. If you're looking for something more spiritual, I think not far from there you could go to Page and see Antelope Canyon. When I walked the canyon, especially 15 or so years ago, 20 years ago, when before like the internet, everybody sees the photos. And you could go in small groups, and it would be like 3-4 people walking through those canyons, maybe at sunset, and you're in this like slot canyon, and the light turns everything pink. That was very mystical. In one of the trips, our guide, I believe he was a Navajo tribesman, just a young boy. He was probably 17, 18. He took out a flute and he started playing, and like some kind of like native tunes or so with like this kind of like wooden flute, like native. And the echo inside the Antelope Canyon, this was Lower Antelope Canyon. There's two canyons, Upper Canyon, Lower Canyon. Yeah, the echo was amazing. And I was like, wow, it was really a mystical experience. But the crater itself, I felt it was very majestic and very natural. But the one thing that you can reflect upon once you're there is just how small we are compared to the scale of the universe and everything. Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, just get engulfed in it.
Talk about humbling.
Yeah,
You know, I don't usually in the face of anything like that. Admittedly, I have to do a little bit more traveling. I have to see a lot more of those things, but you can have those moments just driving through upstate New York and looking at the mountains and the rolling hills, and it's just incredible. And even in comparison to that, it's like you're like, wow. I never go to a place of insignificance. It's always awe, and it's always a humbling awe. You know, I know some people go like Tony Soprano tried that with Christopher when he was in the hospital. He was about to get out in season 6, when he was reading about the lifespan of human beings in comparison to the greater history and the lifespan of the universe. And he's like, do you understand how insignificant that makes us? And Christopher, in his it's the perfect midwit bell curve thing. Where you have the middle IQ people who try to, the midwits who try to make things more complicated than it is. Then you have the super brainiacs and like the knuckle draggers who usually come to the same conclusion, but for very different reasons.
right.
Okay. And so Tony is kind of like midwitting out for a little bit there. You don't understand how insignificant this makes us. The human history is just like a blip on the top of the Empire State Building, a postage stamp on the type of Empire State Building. And Christopher goes, I don't believe that. And then so I'm not insignificant. That's just, I just love that. And that's where the scene ends. Somebody walks to the door.
That's it.
It's perfect writing.
That is great writing.
Perfect.
But you get that with astronauts a lot, right? Like, don't they go and they get like that grand view of Earth, and they feel significantly less significant, right? They feel, they don't want to go back because their life just seems so much less than it really is.
I can't imagine what that's like to see
all of human creation, right? In an orb floating through nothingness.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part about all of this is that that's why sometimes I think with all the stuff that goes on in the planet, I sometimes like think that it is kind of like a I don't want to say it's a hell that everyone is having a bad time here, but it's definitely challenging. You know, like there's not. This is not like a utopia. This is not like heaven.
No,
I mean, we have tastes of heaven sometimes, but
glimpses.
So
you know,
going back to some of those alien theories, some people propose the theory that we live in a prison planet, and we were put here kind of like in purgatory.
That's the Anunnaki.
I don't know if it's true again, but it's kind of like it's food for thought.
What's even crazier is that we know more about space than we do the ocean, right? Like we've explored more corners of space than the ocean, which is wild, right?
Dude,
because that's like I put my foot in the ocean. Like I stepped into the ocean. I never stepped into space.
Don't even put me into a dirty pool.
Oh, you're like that with that?
No, like, water I can't see the bottom of is fucked.
Yeah,
like that. Like even a small pond,
like a little murky water.
Yeah, dude, that's just I there's something about. So when you think about
There's
the
something
vastness,
unsettling about that.
the ocean, that you can go miles down.
Right. We just watched a documentary on octopus. My son and my daughter and I, and it was just like, this is like a thing that we like interact with, and talk about alien. Talk about like something that is so out of the ordinary amongst the ordinary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you just take it for granted. It's an octopus. Okay, no big deal. And then you learn how smart they are and how they're curious and how they explore and the things that they'll do in nature and then things that they do outside of nature where they're in tanks and things like that. I personally sit there, I'm like, my mind just gets blown away because it's something that you know of and we eat it, right? It's like a nothing, but it's so alien to us.
It is, yeah.
It's wild.
It's an alien creature.
They're so
100%.
Yeah, they're so intelligent because it goes to show also that there's different types of intelligence, right?
Right.
As humans, we think that anything that doesn't think like us is not as smart as us.
Right.
But in reality, there's just different types of intelligence and smarts. How smart is an octopus? I know the documentary you're talking about. How he all the hunting strategies, also defense strategy. How he changes, camouflages his skin, his shapes. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Can I just interject?
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm leaving.
Yes.
Because I have to get ready for the flight tomorrow. But
well, hold on. Before you leave, you have to watch this 17-second clip. I found it.
Oh wow, you found it.
He says. You'll hear it. I don't feel that way. Here, watch this.
It says if the history of the planet was represented by the Empire State Building, the time that human beings have been on Earth would only be a postage stamp at the very top. You realize how insignificant that makes us? I don't feel that way.
Yeah, whoever wrote that is a genius.
I don't
the
feel
timing.
The phases.
I don't feel that way.
But they're right? So the Earth is about like what?
Have yourself a good packing, Anthony. And it's great. It was great having you for
Good
the first
seeing you,
hour.
man.
absolutely.
Always a pleasure. Safe travels, buddy.
Thank you. And I'll see you all when I get back.
Absolutely. Yes, he will. So go ahead.
No, sorry, I was saying the Earth is about 4 billion years old, right?
Yeah.
Dinosaurs roamed this Earth for millions of years and apparently got extinguished 65 million years ago. When did our civilization start? 12,000, 14,000, 15,000 years ago.
Right.
And, and from the year zero to now, 2025, look at our progress, technological progress. But it's crazy. The numbers, I mean, if you really look at the numbers, the possibility of more civilizations is there, right? So 4 billion years, the Earth.
Right.
Even between the time the dinosaurs no longer roam the Earth to us, there's at least 64, 63 million years before the first hominids. And all it took us is really like 15,000 years to get to the moon, like to build rockets, spaceships. So what happened all those other million years? Nothing. Everybody was dumb. Nobody had opposable thumbs. Okay, but nothing. Like we didn't do anything.
And what's crazy,
I think we're missing some pages of this history book.
And we're throwing around the word millions of years like it's like a week, right?
Yes.
Like that's the other part of it. Like because we just you can't conceptualize this. You say millions of years, like you just say in a sentence, like, oh yeah, millions of years, okay, no big deal. But if you think about your lifetime, right? That's on average 80 years or whatever it is plus. That's in like millions. Like it's just
Yes,
crazy.
it's crazy.
And like to wrap your head around this stuff is just I love stuff like that because it just really makes you, to your point or to Tony Soprano's point, it shows the insignificance of the things that we end up stressing about, right? It's really so insignificant, but yet in the day-to-day in it, and when you're in it and you're going through it, it just feels like it can feel like the weight of the world.
Absolutely.
Which is so crazy.
I know. And listen, guys, I put the open line up. It's 914-200-0269. Call in. We got Vinny. We got Alberto here. We're going to be chilling out. Like I said, I'm extending the Super Chat raffle for the shirt and also this incredible basket full of stuff. That's going to be for Thursday instead. So we're going to read your Super Chats right now. Let us see here. Stove says, just dropping off a Super Chat because why the F not? Jay Britz and Shotzi probably said so. Evening, gents. Hello to you. Thank you, Peppermint Patty. Thank you, Susan. Says my first Super Chat. I hope it works. It came through, Susan. Let's see. Here now, Josh says, quite frankly, in Italy, I am in. I'm telling you. Vin, would you be able to bring the whole family?
I mean, why not?
We have to.
Why not?
We'd have to do
Let's
this.
do it, gents. Come on.
I think
are you a good traveler?
I mean, if I'm traveling with 30 friends, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not a good I get nervous not knowing where I'm going. I hate that feeling.
So if you were in Anthony's position right now, you would be a little
I'd
bit
be
nervous.
better now.
You'd be nervous tonight.
Yeah, probably more when I got there.
Okay.
I'm like, don't, that kind of thing. But I've gotten better at it for sure. My wife definitely, if it comes to like planning a vacation, she's doing all that. I'm not doing any of it.
I think that
just tell me where I have to be, what time, how am I getting there? Am I driving? I'm not planning.
If we went to Italy,
I'd be a nervous wreck.
As a group, I think that it would be the easiest kind of thing. It would be the easiest way to do that. If I was going alone, forget about it. That's a totally. I mean, I get through it.
Yeah, I would get through it. Of course.
See, here's the thing. If I was going alone, I would need to be as close to fluent in Italian as possible. And I know that practicing with people here and then just being immersed in it over there is two different things, Alberto. I understand that, but I would need to be able to survive. And I don't know. I know a lot more than I give myself credit for because I have started and stopped studying Italian so many times in my life that I actually have quite a few pieces, but I never just like bring it home. I got to start just calling you.
Call me, Frank.
All right, we'll just start chatting in Italian.
Don't you hate when you do something like that, when you start and stop something and you have that moment you go, if I would have just fucking stuck with this by now?
Dude, yeah. I would be doing my show in Italian every night.
Yeah.
Buongiorno!
Buongiorno. But I think languages are hard unless you travel to the country. Like, you have to have full immersion. Like, if you just study the grammar from a book or something like that, it's hard. Everybody that tells me, it's like, oh, I studied, but I don't remember. It's like, did you ever travel? Oh, I studied French in high school, boy. Did you ever travel to France? No. I was like, how can you remember it? You have to turn knowledge into skill. You have to go there and try it, right?
I took Spanish from 5th grade through high school and got into college, right? I don't know a word of Spanish. I got into Spanish 102 or whatever it was. The professor gets to the front of the classroom, and in Spanish, he says, if you don't know what I'm saying right now, don't take this class, you won't pass. And I looked at the person next to me and I said, what did he just say? And he told me, I packed my book, I got up and walked right out. I was like, there's no way I could pass this class. It's so, like my brain doesn't compute language like that.
I think mine could. I think my biggest hang up is something that, and it's a lot easier for me now because now I just say to hell with it, and my career is talking to people and sometimes having uncomfortable conversations. So just like when it comes to martial arts, language, which martial arts is much like a language, a foreign language, it's performing and practicing it in front of the native speakers that you just feel like you're not worthy, and it's just kind of embarrassing. Once you get past that. And once you are just okay with just being a little bumbly, a little bit goofy looking, a little bit awkward, then you just don't know what your mind is just built like everybody else's. You have if you can speak fluent in your language, you could speak fluent in another language.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to give yourself over to it. It's not like you're mute.
Right. That's my college self though too, right? That's like my college self that's like 20-something years old. At 42 now, it's a totally different approach to living.
Yeah.
But at that time, it just seemed like an insurmountable mountain.
I have a question for you, Vinny.
Yeah, yeah.
How were you taught Spanish, though? What was?
It was
do
just,
you remember?
Yeah, it was just here's the word, here's the textbook,
That's why,
here's the thing.
exactly.
There's no context to it.
That's
Conjugating words my brain was like, I can't do this. It couldn't leap.
Again. I hate how languages are taught in school because that's the way I was taught languages too. And when I was in Italy, I studied French, and obviously English when I was in the Italian school system. It was like almost 100% about memorizing words,
yes,
written words, so that you could get tested on your memorization ability. And there was very little listening. I think maybe at that time they didn't just have the tools that we have now. Like if you take Duolingo, there's those kind of apps. They can talk to you, so you can actually hear the sounds. But if we're both parents. How did our kids learn their native tongue, English? Not from bombarding them with like grammar and declinations how to. It was about hearing sounds, and you start with simple things and with playful things, and then little by little, they build these sentences. Then you go back and teach them proper grammar and how to construct a sentence. But it always starts from listening first. But I guess because the school system is only 2-3 hours a week at most, and then they have to give you a multiple question, multiple choice quiz, so they can grade you. It's all about memorization of words and grammar, and that's not how you learn languages. Yeah. That's why I was telling you, if you go to Italy, 2 weeks, full immersion, and you hear the sounds, bam, you speak. You're going to speak better than somebody that took a language course in school for 4 years.
Do you think it's possible? I mean, I know you're talking immersion, so this is not immersion, but is it possible to actually have a lot of success just watching Italian news and film with subtitles on and just listening and just checking and just sitting there and watching a few hours a day?
Yeah, it's probably not as good as if you're in Italy.
Right.
But
obviously.
It's definitely better than just trying to memorize words and grammar.
Well,
listening is the best way.
Let's take a call. Derek, you're on the air. Go ahead. And goodbye. 321, you're on the air. Who's this?
Buongiorno. Hi, Frank.
How are you? Good. Who am I speaking with?
It's Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. It's been a long time. How are you, Patrick?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I called, just because I could, I guess. But no, just enjoying your conversation. It reminds me of high school. I played a lot of basketball and baseball, and all Italians on the team: the Seccos, Conte, the Simone brothers, Di Pasquale. Anyway, and my coaches are Italian too, so I don't know, just brought me back. Can I say something about Alberto?
Yeah, go ahead.
And your wife?
Yeah, go ahead.
You have a beautiful wife. I must say, I don't know if you're married yet, but what do you think about that? Because, and this might be conspiracy, but anyway, I dated a Ukraine girl years back, beautiful. But what am I trying to say? Melania Trump is supposed to be, just throw it out there, one of the sole survivors. Well, there was one sole survivor of Tsar Nicholas during the revolution, and she's like the great-grandmother or great-granddaughter of her. That's a trip. I was just thinking about that.
Well,
Beautiful women, Slavic women.
Wait, hold. Patrick, what was the question?
No, it was just a comment. I don't have any question.
So
thanks for taking my call, my friend.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
I think you were saying something about, is that Melania Trump? That she's coming from like a lineage of like royalty, Russian royalty or something?
Is that like Anastasia?
Yeah.
The lost Tsar's daughter?
Right.
It's Melania Trump?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
think where he was trying to get to. But yeah.
Let's take another call. Derek, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'm here, man. Sorry about that.
It's all right. Welcome back.
I had to pause your show because I had my cell phone in one hand and I had the house phone in the other. I wanted to share that dream blessing that I mentioned to you. I mean, I don't know if you saw the comment or reply from earlier, General Zero or whatever, but yes, I don't know, how much time do I have? I mentioned it can't be.
a comment relevant to tonight's conversation would be nice. And if if we can, just tell us what you got to say.
Okay, well, shoot. Could you remind me? I was in the middle of watching Inception, and I was like, "Oh crap! It's 8 o'clock. I'm supposed to call Frank and share this dream blessing that I had."
All right. Well, a dream blessing.
Yeah, I prayed to God for a blessing to see my dad because he passed away in 2014, and I was just like, "God, I need to see my dad. I need to give him a hug. I need to get a hug from him. I need this more than anything." So, I prayed it to him, said it to him, forget it. And let it fall into his timing to when that happens. And 3 days later, after, producing the prayer to him, I fell asleep on my couch. And within 5 minutes from listening to an audiobook of, something, I was standing at the doorstep of God's house, dude. And I was welcomed in. And I've seen the after party, dude. And it is amazing. So, to not be concise would completely,
I will. It's.
ruin.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you got. I'm glad that you were able to not only go and get that gift delivered, but also to come back and report to everybody else that we got one hell of a party ahead of us. That's very comforting, and thank you for that, General Zero.
Yeah, the details of it, man.
Well,
is
then,
just insane.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely. Well, we'll have an open lines up some night, and we'll get some of those details. Thank you for the call. Let's go to Joy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Can you just please kill that in the background, please? Thank you.
I did.
Okay, go ahead, Joy.
As a fellow Italian American from New York, I want to say we eat the best food.
We eat the best food here in the U.S.? Or are you just you're talking about the cuisine?
As Italian American cuisine.
Would you agree, Alberto?
I love Italian American food. Yes.
What about now? What about Italian food?
It's really good too.
Now, well, Joy, go ahead. Finish your statement before I get back into food with Vinny and Alberto.
So just about the antipasto, the supersad, and the mozzarella. Oh, it's all so delicious, and it's only an Italian American thing.
Yes, we do. We do have the meats and the cheeses down. We do.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
So anyway, God bless you.
Joy, where are you in the country again? I know that you're not up here in the Northeast.
I was. I'm in Tucson now. I'm from Newburgh, New York. I lived in Manhattan for 11 years, and I miss it.
Wow.
I miss the food.
So you bring that zest out there in Tucson.
Okay, I do too.
There you go. Well, that's great to hear from you.
I make the soup with the little meatballs, and everybody loves it.
See, now you're making all of our mouths water. Thank you, Joy. It's wonderful. Is it true? Because I've never got to experience it. That actually eating carbs in Europe, it feels almost like rejuvenating compared to the sludge from the U.S.
No, I mean Italian American food and Italian food are both excellent. But they do taste different. So, like when somebody says, "Okay, I had Italian food here in the U.S." and they think that they had Italian food, no, they're different. But they're still both very good. And it's true what you said, though, about the carbs. There's a lot of people that have friends that cannot eat carbs here. And when they go to Italy for one reason or another, they have no problem. No gluten allergies, nothing at all. And some they say is about the flour and the water that's used or no preservatives in the Italian pasta. But I also think it's because here a lot of times they eat a lot. They go and they go sit in the car, they drive, while in Italy, you're walking around and you're sweating. So I think also like the way your body reacts to carbs or some allergens is different.
Yeah, well, that is true. That is true. I mean, Vinny knows all about walking. He does the rucking.
Yeah,
with everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, got to go out of your way to walk these days.
What kind of distance?
It's like 6 miles.
Wow. Yeah.
6 mile ruck with like 20 pounds.
Oof.
That's good. I have family members that just went to Italy this past summer, And that was the exact feedback was, you could eat and you just don't feel the same way afterwards. And it might just be, obviously, you're on tours and you're doing all the touristy stuff, but there's something about like post-eating Italian food here that you're just, I mean, I don't eat much Italian food, very candidly. I just don't. But when I do, it's just like, it's like a brick. It's like a brick. It's just like, oh man, it's so heavy.
I know it sucks for me only because I really enjoy pasta, but I don't like I said I don't have it. So everybody will be ordering from a restaurant around here, and they'll have like the a rigatoni dish or something like that, and I'm just ordering a New York strip and then just keeping it to. So it's just it's one of those things. Every once in a while, when I feel adequate with my performance over the course of a couple of weeks, then I'll reward myself with a bowl of gavadel or something like that.
Yeah, no, it is good, but I don't default to it very often.
All right, let's see. Joanne EMF says you look awesome, Anthony. Love your hair. Well, Anthony left, but I'm going to tell him that you approve. There you go. Over on Rumble, I want to make sure that we got everybody up on. Okay, Jay Semo says I want that shirt. I'll give my wife the rest. Now, Jay Semo, remember, this is a medium. I don't want any of the guy, unless you're a medium, that's fine. But I just want everybody to know, if it shows up, it's a medium. Awakened Boomer says, hi, Frank and gang. Frankly's happy first day of rainy. Yes, happy rainy, even though snowy is coming very soon over here. And then we're going to go back to your calls in just a second. Let me just check out all the gold pills. Safety Net says, incoming love bomb. Only Lynn again. It's great to have you out there. Okay, let's see. The call from King. What's going on, Santino?
Hey, how you doing, man? And welcome to the Zip there. Good to have you. But my real reason for the call is I want to talk to Vin.
Vin? What's up? I know exactly who this is. What year is this?
Vin.
I've traveled back in time.
Vin.
What's
Vin,
up?
I got to ask you a question, Vin.
What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I don't know what happened, man, but I remember you as the nice, good-looking, clean-cut, professional-looking guy. Now you look like you joined a terrorist organization with the Taliban beard there. Clean it up, Vin.
All right.
That's an order. That's not a question or a request. That's an order. Clean it up.
16, 17 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was about that.
Yeah.
17 years ago, King 40?
Yes, sir.
It was about 17 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
That's 17
I
years ago.
remember. No, I
It's been
remember.
a long time, Vin. It's been a long time since I busted you on
Oh,
you. You
man.
know I love you.
I love you too,
You
buddy.
know I love
So
you.
it's
And I
real-
got to give it to Vin. Vin always took my ball busting like a champ. I used to bust his balls on his show all the time. I love this kid right here. Vin.
Thank you
He's
very
a good
much.
Guy. Yeah, he's a good guy, and he always took my ball busting like a champ.
Listen, it's all good. I'm happy to hear from you. It's been very nostalgic.
This is the first time. Last time you were in here, he didn't call in.
No.
Wow. This is it.
I did. No, I did.
Did you?
I did. I called the last time, but I didn't tell you to clean it up. I still want that beard to go.
Listen, it's not
So
going
you look
anywhere.
like a nice.
It's not going
I
anywhere.
want you to look like a nice, clean cut, professional looking dude there, like you used to.
Well, let's see. Well, you know what? Maybe over the summertime he'll get too hot and he'll have to take it down for a little bit.
And
But
it's not going anywhere. I hate to break these balls.
oh
It
man,
looks more like a Spartan than a Taliban, to be honest.
yeah.
I
Don't
appreciate
cut
that.
it, brother.
I'll give him a coin right now.
Well,
Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen.
Good to hear from you, buddy.
All right, take
all
care.
the best.
Yo, no, listen. You have all now, Alberto. Vinny, you might have. I don't know if you picked this up, but we go back a long way, and he was doing his show when he first was doing his show. The Vinny Brusco show was about a block and a half away in that direction.
I didn't know you guys were there.
At our first
yeah.
location, our first
17
studio.
years ago.
Yeah,
Probably.
he showed up around 2010 or so, 2011.
Probably about that, yeah.
So maybe about 14 years. I don't know.
Mhm.
Either way. So he would go, well, what nights did you guys have?
Thursdays.
So it was after us, right?
Yeah.
So we went 7 to 9. Then you were probably 9 to 10.
9 to 10, something like that, yeah.
Wow. And we had like the five 5-minute transitions down. Like we'd hustle out of there. They'd get in there. Yeah, whatever. Either way, King, I remember some of those calls.
Oh man, him and Carmen would just go
at it with each
other. Yeah, very nostalgic.
Was it hard to run the shows back then, like the technology and that kind of stuff?
It was primitive, but harder because it was so primitive.
Yeah.
Everything is so stable now. The internet connections now is insane. The fact that we have a gig up and down.
Was there even video back then, or was it just audio? Video.
The video started becoming a lot more standard in around 2007. That's when we started integrating video. Although when we first started doing it, it's going to be 20 years for us in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. When we first started doing it, it was all audio, and then we started seeing all of these video sites, and what we did was we installed both a video feed and then the audio feed underneath it, so you can press play on both. It would not be synced, but it would be close, and it was good enough for us. And then finally, we were able to just run all of our produced audio through Ustream so that it was video and audio together. Then we can get rid of Live 365, and we just moved on there. But, I mean, I can pull up some streams for you from 2007, 8, 9, and you hear the audio quality sounds like somebody has us by the throat, and every time we're talking, we're just going like you're just being like Bart Simpson shaked, just like a shakedown or something like that.
That was a really good impression of Bart Simpson being shook.
It was just it was crazy, man. But so things were easy. But they were tough just because there was everything was very unstable.
In 2007, I was recording at K-Rock because that's where I worked, and we would go into the one of the extra rooms that they would record their breaks on and stuff like that. And I would record the show on CDs, and we just hand them out to people.
Oh wow!
Because podcasting wasn't a thing. It wasn't what it is now. I think that was like the podcast starting, I think it was 2007. I think it was like the first wave of podcast. But it wasn't what it is. I mean, obviously not even close to what it is now, but I'd have it burn it onto CDs, and then I would just hand them out to people like it was a band.
That's amazing.
I was like, this is our radio show that we did. Yeah.
We got one of those CDs.
Yeah. I still have them.
Vinny's uncle gave it to Anthony at Home Depot.
Yeah.
And that's how we knew about Vinny, that Vinny was out there. And then it wasn't until maybe a couple of years later that we put out on Craigslist that we are a studio in New York that is open, where we're trying to build a network, and people like Vinny were responding to it. That's before Craigslist.
So if you put it on CD, like, how would you structure the show? It couldn't be about like current affairs and stuff like that, right?
So it's still what. So we would burn it like that night right onto CD, and then the next couple of days it would be like kind of news topics, but it'd be kind of just more shock jock humor,
right?
And then you just have like some random articles that weren't really time relevant, right? But they would be like I remember there was like 2 brothers. I think one was blind, one was deaf. And I think one accidentally killed the other. Like things like that.
Wow.
Like it was just random things. So there'd be articles or stories. But yeah, it wasn't really news prevalent.
That sounds so New York though. Like I mean, like you go back 20 years, like 25 years. I remember like walking like Lower East Side, and there was always some underground thing going on. If you were not like part of that community, you wouldn't know that it was like a private party or private release or some famous musician or some coming to play. If I feel it's something like that, you had to be in on.
It was like pirate radio.
Yeah,
it was like punk rock in its own right.
It was punk rock podcasting. Like 101. Yeah.
No, dude, there was now you brought me back somewhere. I got to see if it's still there. Is this it? Is it East Village Radio? There was a radio station, an internet radio station, I'm pretty sure, right there in the middle of the East Village. And I remember we were just like, well, we got to get on places like this. We have to get on. We were just trying to find places to get our show all over. That's just the way it was. It was almost like because, and like you said, podcasting didn't really begin until about 2007.
Yeah.
I never made one episode of any of the shows that we did from 2006 until 2015 available on podcast.
Oh no, there's a bunch of years that I don't even have on YouTube.
Yeah. No, it was just
podcasts.
I understood the whole thing about podcasting. You're uploading something, people can listen to whatever they want. We wanted to have a live show.
Yeah.
We wanted the experience to be live. And the whole, so I understand the utility of on demand now and the podcast medium. So have at it, listen whenever you can. But I'm preparing this as it's a live show. I know that's your
even now. I do love the idea of live broadcasting. I love, like, I'm always intrigued to do like a Twitch stream or an Instagram live as a podcast, because there is something about, like, fuck it, we'll do it live. Like, there is something about that to me that is just probably the most alluring part of it. Even with like podcasting now, I was saying before the show, like, I don't go in overly prepared, because I think the unfolding of it as it unravels, to me, is the most enticing thing about it. And I'm the same way. I did college radio too. I did a bunch of college radio, and I've just always loved radio. Right. I mean, we kind of talk about this every time I come on, but it just obviously having King 40 call in, it brings you right back to the other studio.
Oh, I know, because those calls, whatever the hell you brought to the studio, whatever he brought in as his format for the night with his co-hosts and the bits they were going to do and the news they were going to read, that's all great. And you do have some repartee with people in the room. But once you open up the lines,
it's a wholly different thing.
You don't know what's coming through.
So
and then King shows up. And, that happens.
Yeah. There's no phone screen. I did phone screening for radio. I've done it. And you literally have to like sift through. What do you have to say? What's your name? Where are you calling from? What do you have to say? And you kind of weed out the pranksters to the best of your ability, or the bullshitters, or whatever it was. But when it was just, you see a phone number come up on the screen, you're like, all right, we're taking this thing. And you have to, you don't know what's coming through. Sometimes it was, relevant and prevalent to the conversation. Sometimes it was just whatever.
Do you remember anyone, like anybody comes to mind that was like just like a wild phone call? Somebody
probably just King 40.
Oh man. Well, we had a lot. We've had plenty.
Anybody that called that said they saw a reptilian or something like that? No.
Oh man. I'm probably fucking I'm gonna forget. I'm probably gonna blank out now, and I'm gonna kick myself, because later on I'm going to just be sitting at home winding down, and then random memories from 2 decades is gonna pop in. We've had so many different calls. We've had plenty of paranormal calls.
Right.
I mean, just on this show, within the last few years, we've had some great ones. Plane crash survivors. Things that you can't plan for, things that you leave the door open, and what's gonna walk on in. It could be nerve-wracking sometimes.
Right.
But at the old studio, I mean, there was a lot. There's a lot that could have been said.
But to your credit, you never. I mean, I had like lulls, right? So I was doing it in one way or the other way, but to your credit, you've been, I mean, as consistent could be. We had been. I mean, me, Anthony, and Mike, we were on Tuesday and Thursday nights from, first it was 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then at my college, we were like, okay, let's go like 9 to 11. So we would go like 9 to 11 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Finally, we were just like, okay, let's drop it to 8 to 10. And then finally it was like 7 to 9 or something like that. That's when we were finally over there. But we were consistent with that for years. And then in 2010 is when I started doing Quite Frankly solo, and that used to just be the first couple of weeks was like just a Friday show. Mm-hmm.
And then I said, okay. Oh no, it was a Wednesday show. I said, okay, let's do Monday through Thursday. And then I said, okay, well, let's just round it out. Let's just go 5 days. And I'm telling you, it's been consistent for, now I'm broadcasting more than ever. I've actually, I don't know, there's a lot of things I've been tinkering with, and Anthony and I started something new. So it's filling, the broadcast calendar is filling in different ways, but never stopped. You're right.
Yeah.
And you said in 2 weeks is going to be your anniversary, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
Do you have anything special planned coming up?
No. And that's just this is why I don't know. I need help.
Why?
I just need help. It's just one of those things where I don't. I've got to make some kind of a breakthrough here. I got to break through a couple of walls, I believe, and because I need to be able to pay help, you know, full-time things for people to think like that on my behalf while I'm just writing the nightly show. Because when I come up for air after every show is written, then I can start thinking about, okay, what's going on tomorrow? What's going on next month? What are the extra things I can fill in the gaps? That's a whole other full-time job. And things like this, like, for example, when we finally broke 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, thankfully at the time, my buddy Abe, who was doing some video production and a whole bunch of other stuff off air for me at the time, he had the foresight of pulling together a 100,000 subscriber video just to play. You know,
You're in it too much.
I'm in it too much.
Yeah,
and that in itself I hate. Like, there's got to be something more efficient that I can do with the week, the production week.
Yeah, I mean, every day. I do the podcast. Every other week I release an episode. I record probably either once a week or I'll do like twice in 1 week just so I have some back catalog. But when I was doing everything, like I would do the editing, there was a point where when I was doing it in the pod shed, which you came on an episode, I would literally switch the cameras live, right? And I was like switching because I didn't even realize it, like, oh yeah, SD cards and 3 cameras and all that stuff. So I was literally just switching the cameras. Then I record the episode, then I go inside and I'd be up till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning editing. Forget about clips. That wasn't even an idea in my mind. And you kind of have to start. And I don't think it's so much of a like letting go, but it's just because like you're so tied to this in all of the different aspects of it. I'm not saying you, I'm talking about myself, that I had to like almost be okay with someone else managing it and overseeing it and be like, all right, we're gonna do these clips and you're gonna do this, and someone else runs the cameras now, and it's a lot, man. It's a lot. And again, to your credit, 5 nights a week, and then for how many years? I mean, I tell people I don't know how many. I'm over 500 episodes in podcasting by far. I don't even count them anymore. But I mean, I don't even know what number you would be up to technically.
You know what? I can tell you some, because I'm having such a hard time with Spotify right now. I've been taken off of Spotify the last couple of weeks, because all of my old episodes that have been hosted since 2015 on SoundCloud that populate through the RSS whenever I send that RSS link out to a new, Now,
are you doing that?
Well, it's a lot easier now. When we started, you have to take that RSS and you have to go to every individual site.
Yep.
But now places, so many podcast platforms pull from Apple. So many different podcast platforms automatically pull from a Spotify or an iHeartRadio or something. So if you really just get a couple of the big ones down, they disseminate out to dozens.
Yeah.
But what happened was the archive on SoundCloud goes back to 2015, and I mean, all of my intro music, outro music was like Shine Down. I had so much copyrighted music in there that all of a sudden on Spotify, about later last year, I got hit with dozens and dozens of copyright infringement notifications, and I couldn't delete the episodes fast enough. I'm trying to get in touch with Spotify. Not one human works there. $100 billion company. Yeah. Not one human being works there.
Terrible, yeah,
dude. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I delete all this stuff? And now I'm rushing to get the show completely copyright free, because I'm like, what am I holding on to?
And are you going back in to change the music, or are you just like, fuck it, let it go?
Well, like the intro you heard tonight, that's
no, saying on those older episodes, you're going and editing out that music and putting something else, you're just letting go.
Deleting it. Yeah. But eventually they saw so many of these things that they took it down. They terminated the account. So at that point, I opened up a new account and I resubmitted. But at that time, I had an idea. So I'm going to go back into SoundCloud. It's the only way that I can do this. And I'm going to go through my archive. I'm going to switch it to the switching around. I'm going to have it populate from oldest to newest. I'm going to go back to that first upload in 2015. And of course, I couldn't batch. I was going to privatize everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't batch privatize it. So I had to click through 100 episodes at a time for what ended up being something like 2,300 episodes. And it got me to about November 2025, when at that point I knew I was safely copyright free. And then at that point, when all those 2,000 plus episodes were privatized, I can then take the RSS and resubmit it to Spotify and say, now it's only going to populate the copyright-free version of the show. But at that point, they took me down in a week because they said I was a repeat offender, like I was ban evading or something. Like, so I'm out of my fucking mind with that shit. But I
couldn't even. I'm sorry. I couldn't even tell you where to get an RSS feed anymore. Like I did that so long ago.
Wherever you're hosting it will provide
right. But I mean, the thought of like RSS feeds hasn't crossed my mind in I don't know how many years.
Yeah,
6 years.
If it's audio, it's still very relevant.
Yeah. 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 I'm sorry.
No, it's very interesting. I'm learning something new. It's amazing.
Well, what do you do? Well, you got to do something, man. People love hearing you talk. You have not only your brands, your clothing brands. You just went down. Did you finally do the Megadeth thing?
Oh yes, I did. I just came back Sunday night late from Nashville. We went down for just a big business meeting. As you guys know, we through my half sumo company, Luigi and I, my business partner, develop a lot of like the special merch for Megadeth for some of their like events and also for their tour. And so we went there for like a business meeting with the team, but also to listen to a preview of the new album that's coming out this Friday. It's going to be their 17th, if I remember correctly, and final album. Dave told us while we were there that unfortunately he got diagnosed with like a degenerative tendon disease on his left hand that will progressively make it harder for him to really play. He said that he had started like writing and recording this album, not thinking that it was going to be the last album for the band. But after like 12-hour days every day, he started feeling the hand not being the same like when he was younger, and he got it checked, and they said that he had this this like unique degenerative disease.
That's
so
awful.
He
That's
ended up deciding that he was going to go out on his own terms, and he said, okay, this is going to be the last album, and we'll tour extensively, he said, to reach all the fans with a farewell tour and then see how it goes. But so it was very interesting. We didn't know what to expect, but they invited about 200 people. Some of them were like collaborators like us, but some were also VIP fans that followed the band for years, that bought special tickets, special passes. And we went to their compound. I don't know if you guys knew, but they moved. Originally, Mustaine and Megadeth are from like the Bay Area, San Diego, but they end up a few years back, I think about almost now 10 years, they moved to Nashville, as all the music industry is now there, right? There's no more like really live clubs, even here in New York, right? If you want to go listen to live music, unless you go to Blue Note and listen to jazz, there's really not a lot of like rock venues. And it seems like also in LA is the same. So they end up moving to Nashville, and it was an experience. They have an amazing, amazing compound. It's just like this, it's like a dream, you know, like it's a man cave time, 1,000, you know, like of space to do like, you know, private events. But also we saw where they recorded the latest album. So we got there, and the whole day was planned. We end up like thinking that it was going to be just like a few hours a night on Saturday. And then I check my, like their manager sent me the itinerary. It's like, oh, you guys have to show up at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. What the hell? What are we going to do? So we got there at 10 a.m. and it was, the whole day was booked with like events for the fans. They like the access that the fans had that day to the band was on parallel. I don't know any other bands. I don't think, you know, Metallica, forget about it. You're never going to get that kind of access to James Hetfield and company. People could go there and you know, had a chance, you know, aside from like general Q&As, also they had chance to also, you know, like talk to them and this kind of stuff. And few things that stood out was this. They had like a few like Q&As, and they actually talked a lot. Like you guys were talking about the process about RSS feeds and stuff like this. They talk about the process of making music. I think anybody there that wanted to kind of like be a musician or always aspire to be a musician to kind of understand how like their brain works when they're like writing and recording was amazing. And then surprise, surprise, at the end, it was supposed to be only like an acoustic you know, half an hour show. They're like, guys, nah, this is not working. Let's go next door. And next door, they have prepared like a little bit like of a concert kind of like place with a proper stage and everything, lights, and they played an hour straight of like some new songs. They do that. I remember the Tipping Point, which is it's already been the single has been released, which is amazing. And the other one is like Let It Be Shred. If you can find it, they're amazing. And then they played some of the classic, and they closed the show with like Holy Wars, which is like their like a staple.
Yeah.
And they played amazing, and but aside from that, during the day they did a full playthrough of the new album with we were like, I mean, like a big room, but we had tables.
How many people do you think were there?
Between 2 to 50, maybe.
Wait, 250?
Yeah,
that's exclusive company.
Like the way
at that scale.
Yeah. It was a big room. I mean, it was obviously we were recording small, but if you think about your studio, was a little bit, maybe the whole studio area was maybe twice this size, and everybody was just sitting there at the stage. But anyway, so they did a listening through of all the album while they were on stage, and every few songs, like they'll stop and they'll talk about it. And they made us put our phones in the pouches, so we couldn't nobody could like record the songs all. I think there's 11 or 12 tracks on this album, which is kind of like a beefy album. And the last song is a cover. And you know what it is?
What?
He covered Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
Wow. It was Ride the Lightning. He did. Wait.
Yes.
I think you had brought this up with Anthony. No.
Yes.
Did we
might have talked about it, yes.
But that was before you went down to hang out with him.
Yes. So I think what we talked before is about like how many songs that Dave Mustaine wrote before he was let go by Metallica, and then Metallica resampled some of his riffs, added some lyrics by James, and end up like.
Oh, I would love to see.
I think they say the first 3 or 4 albums Metallica released are full of Dave Mustaine songs, and you can tell by the riffs. He has a certain kind of like groove to his riffs and like rhythm figures that are so him. So anyway, the last song is a cover, and it's Ride the Lightning, and it fucking rocks. And it was like, since I wrote it and they kind of like stole it, I might as well record it the way I wanted it to play.
Was it much different?
No, it was very close. I was very close, but it was definitely faster. And that's a big credit to Mustaine. Yeah. For everybody who loves heavy metal, and now is seeing a lot of this band's age, like it's nature. Like I love Iron Maiden, but like from the 2000s on, I haven't really enjoyed any of their albums. They're a little bit more slow, and it comes with age. There's nothing wrong with it. But as a fan, if you want the hard music, they don't have it anymore. And I a little bit also Metallica, the latest albums were a little bit weak. I mean, again, when I'm 60, I don't think I can keep up either. It's just fine. But I don't know how Mustaine does it. Like, he's always dialed to 11. And like the way he played Ride the Lightning, it was like, okay, we're going to show them how it's really played.
Wow.
It's faster and stronger.
I would like to hear that.
Punchier.
I would really like to hear that. I hope that somewhere a recording of that gets out at some point, because that I know that will get passed around a lot on the internet. That Dave Mustaine, his version of Ride the Lightning, I know that'll get passed down around a lot.
So the album comes on Friday, and I think you can find. They've been releasing every day one song at a time. And I think you could already find Ride the Lightning somehow on YouTube. Yeah.
Well, your clothing line, you're working with the band, and you've created these products for the band. So I have to imagine that out of the 250 people there, a lot of people got in on buying bags and everything else. I hope so.
They have. And we were really pleasantly surprised. And I think the Megadeth team has been very happy of this collaboration, because I don't know if you know the premise from our brand, Half Sumo. Like, we started as a...
I have some of your shirts.
Okay. You do? Okay. Yeah. As a jiu-jitsu, martial arts premium brand, as I come from a jiu-jitsu background, and Luigi comes from a full contact.
Actually, I spoke to Luigi about coming on the podcast at one point.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. He's a great guest. He's a lot of fun. Awesome. He has a lot of fun stories. So, yeah.
Amazing artist.
Yeah. And, so, but... like the fact that all the designs are unique, and we never repeat any design. Everything we launch, like one collection a week. Every Friday there's a release, and then once it's sold out, it's gone forever.
Oh, there's the Megadeth.
It creates, that's
I have
the newest one. Yeah,
I have the Geisha girl that he did.
Yes,
framed in my basement.
Yeah, the Ono Geisha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's some of the latest drop for the new album. The new album is the theme is like this fire, and those are some of the older designs that we did. Yeah, it's martial arts inspired. So I think a lot of the brands that Megadeth collaborated with
That
before.
hoodie's awesome. That tan hoodie. Go up, Frank. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I got into it.
No,
I love a
please.
good hoodie. That is a great hoodie.
Yeah, we
Dude,
like to
that
do
is
different
awesome.
colors. But a lot of the other brands that collaborated in the past with Megadeth, they always kind of like just take.
That's nasty.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
They take stock photos of the albums and just slap them on the t-shirt and then ask $50 for them. And instead, we created all new assets for them. So I think also the fans respond to it, because you can find so much bootleg stuff if you just want a t-shirt with the cover of the album. But this is something new, it's something unique. And as you already know, because you do martial arts, you do jiu-jitsu, there's such a crossover between heavy metal and martial arts. I don't know, like everybody at the academy like listens to heavy metal. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So like, they are, they go well together.
But the brand,
and it was amazing.
The brand you guys have, I think it's such a testament to like so many different components, and one of them being like this classic kind of old school Japanese art, right? Like
yes,
you can't deny that.
Izumi and wood blocks.
Exactly,
like
exactly.
Yes,
and then it just brings in like obviously the jiu-jitsu element in my world. I'm like, so I have some of your shirts, and I have the art in my basement framed.
Dude, you should have. I mean, I don't know if you saw it because I made it into a clip afterwards because it happened on the flip side after the show ended. But when Alberto was on the first time, he did a little show and tell on the flip side, and not only did we see these 16th century.
Yes, there's 1640.
These
1640.
So these 17th century swords, these katanas, and but it wasn't even just holding all of these amazingly crafted weapons in our hands, but it was this incredible cross-continent reunion story of how this katana and its sister blade had found its way back together, that he had just, by chance. Yes. Give Vinny the nutshell before we have to say goodnight.
I'll give you the nutshell, and then I have something for you, Frank, though. But in the nutshell is this, that the samurais in the Edo period, in the 17th century, in order for you to be a samurai, you had to have two swords. One was a long sword called a katana, and one was a short sword called a wakizashi. That was your symbol to show that you were a samurai. And a lot of times the samurais will commission the swords to match. So they'll have the same kind of like a smith to make the blades, but also the same saya and the same kind of tsuba. So I bought my first sword, the katana, and then when I went back to Japan a year later, I ended up going to an antique shop, and I ended up looking for wakizashi, like a smaller sword, because I already had a katana. And I found the matching sister sword to my katana. Same maker, same saya, same tsuba, same koshirai fittings. Even the guy that sold it to me, when I showed him, I was like, wait, can I see that sword? And then I looked like, oh shit, who made this sword? We take out the nakago and we see the signature. It was the same sword maker as my katana. I was like, I have the same swordsmaker's sword at home. I have the katana. And then I look at the fitting, it's the same tsuba maker and with the same theme of the of Benkei and Yoshitsune fighting the ghosts. I showed him the photo. He's like, oh my God. I was like, this guy's the old man, like commerce in swords. He's like, I never seen this. So two swords from the 1600s. I don't know, split through time.
Yeah, the story of the journey of those swords.
I put them back together.
Could be a movie.
But for the swords, yes. Not for me.
No, I'm saying for the story of those two swords.
I will be the letdown at the end of the movie if I made it. But
that's so cool. Like, I mean, the story and the journey of the swords to be where they landed.
Think about this.
Oh,
well, what if the story?
Gosh.
What if the story was there was a reason why they were kept apart?
Right.
And this one guy, by chance, brings them together. It's almost like a gremlin situation.
All right.
He's like,
apocalypse is going to happen.
Found Gizmo.
Yeah.
Found Gizmo in the little shop over there, and don't feed it after midnight. And he brought the swords together. What happens? Like, there's a samurai in his closet or something when he gets home.
God, I love old samurai movies. So Kung Fu and I just finished Red Sun, Charles Bronson movie.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, with Toshiro Mifune,
Yeah.
the Western movie from
Yeah.
72, 74,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
I just
that.
finished
Yeah.
it. And then obviously he was in Seven Samurai, and it's just
Yes.
amazing, amazing stuff.
So Frank, before you cut, I brought you something. Can I show you something?
Yeah, please. What is it?
So,
Oh, while he's taking a look at that, I want to just shout out, who's it? Benny Farina. Benny Farina says a super chat for a bunch of fellow paisani. Well, look at that. Thank you so much, Benny. And Jay Britt says, Frank, what about the call from the guy seeing Jesus driving a minivan? I think that was General Zero. We'll talk about that later, though. Okay, go ahead.
no, so last time we ended up with blades, so we end up with another blade too. Now it seems all I do is collect blades, but no, but this comes from my last trip from northern Kazakhstan, Siberia, and this was gifted to me by a former head of police of the city of Omsk. He's a former Russian army officer. He's a sambo master, and he wanted to give me a gift, and he brought this. Is a typical Russian blade that they do for, I guess, hunting and this kind of stuff.
Wow.
And since I wanted to bring you something special from my trip out east, this is for you.
You're giving this to us?
Yes.
To me?
Yeah, man, you got a freaking studio. You need to put something
beautiful.
cool in it.
What?
Yeah. So the guy that gave it to me is ex-army, ex-police, and he's a sambo master. His teacher was Oleg Takhtarov. And look how funny about circumstances. Oleg Takhtarov, that was this guy's teacher.
It's very cool.
Oleg Takhtarov, that was this guy's teacher, fought Hansel Gracie, who is my teacher. So when we met a few years back in Russia, and he told him I do jiu-jitsu, he's like, oh, I do sambo. He's like,
That's
said,
like the age old, right? Like,
and I was like, who's your teacher? And he's like, Oleg Takhtarov. I said, my teacher is Hansel Gracie. And he's like, oh, because our teachers fought, but we became friends.
See, this
is beautiful.
This is why when I hear stories like that and all these stories, I always go back to that same question. Are there really 8 billion people on the planet? I don't believe so. I don't know. There has to be far less.
You sound like Christopher now.
I don't feel that way.
I feel that way.
I don't feel that way. I just it just feels like the world is a lot smaller and a lot more interconnected than we think. I think 8 billion is one of those things that makes you try to feel insignificant. You know?
That's beautiful.
I can't thank you enough. I mean, that's
brother, you deserve
absolutely
it,
beautiful.
man.
No, is there any special story about the creation of that knife, or is that
You're gonna find its twin?
Is it an executioner's knife? How many people?
No, but the legend is that a lot of these knives are actually made in the prisons in Siberia. They put the inmates to work on the workmanships of the blade. I don't know if this is true or not, but anyway, this is the story of the knife.
Wow. I mean, I thank you so much.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait to hold it up
It's simple,
here.
but it's cool, and then it has some kind of, I don't know if you can
There's
catch.
scorpion on there, right?
Yeah, there's some kind of like workmanship.
Yeah, the workmanship is so detailed.
But it's just cool, and then, if you have other American blades, you can compare how they make it,
Yeah.
It's kind of like a, you can put in your cabinet of curiosities.
Yeah,
if you have one.
It's going to be hard to get that onto a plane. That's for sure. But that's just gorgeous. That's really gorgeous. Maybe I'll start strapping that to my leg.
You should.
Like a frogman. That would be incredible. Wow, man. Well, listen, I hope you never feel like you have to come here with a gift. It was really awesome just to hang out with you guys. This was a nice grouping. I would love to do this again one day.
Anytime.
This would be awesome. As far as everybody in the chat room, I thank you all so much for the time, and I'm going to pull some of you a safety net. Thank you, Corey J. Says great show. I believe so too. These are just great conversations that we need to be having that are outside the scope of all of the nonsense. This is what we need. This is what we need. And before we leave, because I just want to put a special extra thank you out there for my sponsors, Keto Brainz. Just remember, we're drawing 4 names at the end of this month for winners, for people who go to ketobrainz.com and indulge in some of the greatest nootropic creamer that you can put in anything, not just even your morning coffee, even in liquid. Put it in, bury it into food, into your children's, into your baby food, whatever. Get them some nice stuff. Wake the mind up. MCT oils, L-theanine. That's where the ticket is. But go to ketobrainz.com Use promo code January for 15% off of whatever the hell you buy. And just by making that purchase, you're in the running for a prize. And we're giving away like $500 worth of stuff for the first place prize. And then the next 3 runners up, you're getting extra full bags of Keto Brainz and the electrolyte samples of salty and all that shit. And it'd be great. I mean, you guys should have Keto Brainz and salty electrolyte packets at your schools and everything, especially at Agora.
Yeah. I love a good nootropic.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah.
I'll bring you a bag next time you come here.
Let's do it.
First of all, I got to come to a meeting.
Anytime.
I got to go there and cry with everybody.
Oh, we do so much crying.
Frank, let's go together. I want to check it out.
Listen, we have one tomorrow, Thursday night, and then we have a Bible think tank next Thursday, and there's gonna be tacos from Westchester Taco Grill.
Really?
Yeah. So now we got tacos involved.
Alberto at one of those group meetings would be awesome.
Just come by.
I'll stop by. Let's organize it. I'll be there. I'll go.
We'll exchange numbers.
And then next time we come on the pod with Frank, we can talk about it, how it went.
Oh, amazing.
If you made me cry or something.
Listen, I'm a big crier. So
Me too.
I love crying.
Me too.
I love it. I love it. It feels so good.
Oh, by the way, also, I know that I love talking. You get movie references, understood that. But we got to do some film club together.
Yeah.
What I've done is I've converted film club into watch parties where we can all just watch it together from wherever the hell we are. And then I go live for a couple minutes after the end credits and just talk. Over the summer, we were talking about we have to do some ridiculous film like Over the Top.
Yes. And then I think last or 2 times ago, we talked about Field of Dreams.
Wow.
Which I recently just introduced to we didn't watch it, but I was like, guys, I don't know why I got the urge to watch Field of Dreams. And I was like, guys, we got to watch Field of Dreams. I mean, it's a top 5 movie for me.
Such a good movie. Yeah.
Such a good movie.
Listen.
It's such a good movie.
We read Shoeless Joe.
You were telling me that. I think that's what brought it up.
You got to read it from W.P. Kinsella. Shoeless Joe, the book is magic, and it's written beautifully. Like just the way that he describes the scenery in Iowa and all this other stuff. But essentially, the movie, so much of the movie is based, it's like the first 3 chapters is like the perfect short story. The first 3 chapters of that book it really just picks you apart. It's awesome.
I was thinking about that scene when at the end, and when his brother-in-law, who just got brought in some crazy charges, but in the movie it's his brother-in-law. He's like, they're gonna close the house, and then James Earl Jones stands up and gives the people will come, Ray. But he's like, they're gonna close the. I was thinking about that scene. I was like, that is like that moment right there for Kevin Costner in the movie. He's like, it's the moment, right? It's like when you're presented with the crossroads of like where you feel you need to go versus what reality's telling you. He's like, they're gonna close your house. You're gonna lose your house. And he's just like, what do I do? And then James Earl Jones stands up and just gives that speech. It gives me chills. It's such a movie, man.
It's the best.
So I told my kids, like, we have to watch this. And they're not into it, but I'll get them into it.
That is it's a movie for everybody, but it's definitely a father and son story.
Oh.
I mean, at the end, when he, I won't say it for everybody out there.
You could spoiler alert, Field of
Spoiler alert. 40 years later.
God damn it. It was his father?
It was his father. He turned around. Dad. When he says dad, it's like, that's incredible. And then they have a catch. You want to have a catch? And it's just, and then it's going to go on for, but again, you know what that is really all about when he's got, when the brother-in-law is there. And it's just all. And the brother-in-law cannot see all these.
He walks right past the field.
Yeah, all the
they're playing.
These dead gray Moonlight Graham is already out there because and they're playing. He can't see it, but James Earl Jones is sitting there, and everybody watching. It's like people will come, Ray.
Yeah.
They'll pass over the money without even thinking and all that.
Yeah,
and it's really that's just something for everybody out there because whatever the hell it is, that's usually. And I wish you can know. We're not clairvoyant. We can't see into the future, but whatever path you're on, especially if you're working very, very hard for something, I truly believe that so many times in our lives, in people's lives, they gave up the day before they broke through. Who the hell knows how often it happens, and can you really ever put your finger on it? But I think that that little fork in the road, that crossroads moment between the brother-in-law who says you're going to lose the farm, and James Earl Jones that says, "Hey, this is don't stop, Ray."
I'm in the middle of that right now. Literally, I'm at the crux of that moment.
We have that scene in our lives that plays out all the time. Who are you going to go with? The practical brother?
Yeah, of course.
Or are you going to just swing for the fences? And you know what makes it is, and I'm forgetting all their names now, but Ray's wife is such that right there. I think that also exemplifies just the amazing blessing that men and women are for each other.
Yeah.
Because she is just so fantastically supportive that taking a swan dive into the blackness of an unknown situation seems like comforting. We can do this.
Yeah.
You know, because you're by my side. That's
it's
huge.
a beautiful movie, man. It's
huge.
such a beautiful movie. And yeah, man, it's that part when they're at the I think they're at the Red Sox games. He's like, you saw it. And he's kind of like in denial about it. And he's like, saw what, Ray?
Moonlight Graham.
Moonlight Graham, you saw it.
Yeah.
Such a great movie,
Shit.
man.
Okay, that's it. Let's go to the flip side. We only have 20 minutes until the lights go off in here. So let's just watch the speech from, let's just watch the speeches now.
Let's watch it.
Okay. All right, everybody. I'm going to put the flip side link in the chat rooms, and you please just follow us over because this show is over, but the show is not totally over until the lights go out. So with that being said, thank you to Alberto. Thank you to Vinny Brusco. Both of their Instagrams, you just they're in the description of the episode. They're very active on Instagram. I mean, Vinny, his show is on YouTube as well, but follow both of them on Instagram. That's where you're going to get, I believe, the most out of them. They're very active. They respond quickly. Just dive in on everything they're doing, and they will be back, no doubt about it. You guys want to say anything in closing? Go ahead.
Oh man, thank you for having me again. Great to finally
such
meet
a pleasure.
Vinny.
Such a pleasure meeting you.
Since we come from the same kind of like jiu-jitsu lineage and tree, and looking forward to talking to you, Frank, again soon.
Oh, well, listen, we're brothers. We ain't losing touch. This ain't a fluke. It's not a flash in the pan. I'm so happy to start off a new year on this note because, man, by next January we're gonna have so much more in the bank. It's going to be great. Memories, time spent, parties. Let's make it all happen.
Italian trip, yeah.
Italy.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we're going to Italy. Okay, everybody.
I'll be the tour guide. I can translate. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's what we need. That'll also take a lot of pressure off of me. I'll just be able to go into my Babbel app and just do that for the next few months. Anyway, I just put the links in the description, links in the chat room. Come over to the flip side, and let's watch a little bit of Field of Dreams before we all go to bed.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, good night, everybody.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Thank you, everybody. Quite Frankly is filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you to our super chatters tonight, starring Jay Britz, Benny Farina, Stowstube, Peppermint Patty, Susan Kimoteco, and Josh. Here now, Josh says, quite frankly, in Italy, I'm in. I know. ST, thank you. I sure wish I knew about the Sword and the Rock when I was in Tuscany many years ago. So beautiful. My first time visiting vineyards got spoiled. Totally magical. How did I miss this, ST? Because Jay Britz I got in there. Frank and his all-star panel. Great show, Frank. Thank you. Joan, you look awesome, Anthony. I'll tell Anthony you said so. To my Rumble Ranters, to my Gold Pillars, thank you. I'll see you soon. Click the link.
Chinaman goes to see the eye doctor. After the exam, the doctor says, I know why you're having trouble. The Chinaman says, why? Doctor says, you have a cataract. The Chinaman says, no, I have a Lincoln Continental. You don't get it?
I get it. He drives a Lincoln. What?